seeing pros play this, and so if
Singaporean team. But anyways, it's gonna be a 1-1 for our caster prediction. Again, this is gonna be Vietnam versus Singapore for the first day of our Razer Sea-Invitational.
let's see what's going to happen with your carry late game, Chantel. Yes, I do play a lot of carry too, and look, yeah, man, look at that. That's just like what we've said. Already on half health is Jason because of the dispersion damage of this Lu Yi. But we shall still see as XCP. He will actually steal the serpent.
Yes, but there's the first blood coming in from the Claude of Team Vietnam onto our game. We can see here Team Singapore getting that buff, or actually invading the buff of Team Vietnam on the orange side. So this time around, first blood is on the side of Team Vietnam, which is actually a good thing because we are seeing right now the power spike. This is a level 3 Claude, ladies and gents, for this match. And another kill maybe by this Lolita of our blue team.
You know what? That was sneaky from XCP, but the main problem there is he got brought down. he got brought down by the Claude and company. So with that, even though the Claude, he doesn't have the purple buff right now at Broly. I will call him Broly now. Yes, he doesn't have the purple buff, but he has the experience and the red buff to actually gain some potential momentum here. Even without the purple buff, all you need is to get that level 4. You can spam out your Blazing Duet to farm the lanes, and then you will eventually hit a certain power spike to be aggressive. So with this, Team Vietnam leading by 1,000 gold, Chantel.
Actually, for this kind of early game, this is considered to be a lot of gold for Team Vietnam. So knowing that they have the Claude for their mid laner onto this game, that's really an edge against Team Singapore. For Team Singapore, all they have to do is to protect this carry. It's going to be a battle between the marksmen on the latter part of the game. But as we could see here right now, Think is almost out of life onto this Selena. The aggressiveness that we expect to have from Team Singapore is actually on the side of Team Vietnam.
I like the setup. I like the setup from the rotation and the dispersion to the bulwark CC for Team Vietnam. You know what's interesting too is that Team Singapore, they prioritize the outplay potential on their side because of the flickers. But meanwhile, Team Vietnam, they're playing it defensively with all of the purifies that they have. 4 purifies on their side. They want to bait the arrow. They want to bait the fatal links. Team Singapore, I think, Chantel, what they need to do is to control the macro game. Because again, this is a mashup pick. Mashup pick means split type of composition. Get the objectives quickly. We call it the turbo mashup. So let's see if that's going to be present here.
Actually, for this game, we have to consider that this 2 offlaners or the side lanes of Team Vietnam is using the average spell. Speaking of which, there is the damage here come from Louis, which was very commended on the early part of the drafting. So far for this game, we have Team Vietnam on the upper hand in terms of code, in terms of actually the map control, because they have the Lolita. Zoning out all the players, which is expected to be done by this Atlas of Team Singapore. For Team Singapore, though, they have the flicker, 4-man flicker to be exact, for their spell. So there is an opportunity for them to disengage whenever there is a team fight come from Team Vietnam.
Well, by the way, hold that thought, Chantel. The teams are now poking each other here in the turtle. That is going to be the first turtle dance of the game. Team Vietnam securing that with the Numinum Blast, and Broly will now transition his way to the mid lane and will probably farm some more. Speaking of gold, Team Vietnam leading by 1,000, and they are now getting their first items. Claude now immediately going for the Blade with Spear. Here you go in the top lane. XCP.
Another one. It's gonna be 2 versus 1 onto our top lane. XCP against this Esmeralda, but there is Hyde for the backup and a secure kill for Team Vietnam onto this game. We have 2 players come from a Team Vietnam with the Enchanted Talisman.
Yeah.
Imagine you have the Avarice on the talent
Yep.
on your emblem plus the Enchanted Talisman, but there goes the Domino Blast. Takes 2 and a kill for Team Vietnam onto this game. We have Jason here left for Team Singapore onto the middle lane. Dash away or back away for Team Vietnam, and it's 4-0 for our score onto this game number 1.
TRUONGTRINH with a nice setup to the Numinum Blast to the I call it to the window to the wall. Numinum Blast to the Blazing Duet, E to the Z combo there. Meanwhile, as I say this, here in the top lane, here in the jungle, we have a Rumble in the jungle. Blazing Duet again from E, and yeah, it's over. BMI out. It is now a stomp. 6-0 on to under 6 minutes. Chantel, yeah, I agree with you. The Avarice, it has this cooldown reduction attribute as well. And with Enchanted Talisman, I think Team Vietnam, they just want to layer out all of their damage every time the cooldown pops. But that
Here's
is the arrow counter.
Yes. Actually, speaking of that, for Team Singapore, all they need to do is to have this carry cope up in terms of gold.
Yeah.
Like what we've been saying earlier, it's gonna be the battle of the marksmen. Although for Team Singapore, though, they need to, as much as possible, build an item or any item to counter out this Esmeralda and Uranus. Maybe a Sea Halberd, since they are more on the physical side. But here comes Little Lynx. Oh my god! Turtle has been taken here by Selena. Domino Blast catches 2 and a kill for them. It's gonna be a 4 versus 1 in favor of Team Vietnam.
Oh my, that was a huge pop of the Fatal Links, but the problem there is they were inside the rotation second skill of Hyde. And it doesn't matter if you get 2 or 3 because man, with that skill, it set up Broly again with a beautiful Blazing Duet plus the Numinum Blast. We all thought that Team Singapore has the crowd control, but again, Team Vietnam, they have Purifies and they are playing well. They are outplaying the crowd control game of Team Singapore. Welcome to the CC train, says Team Vietnam. And with this, they are now leading with the 8k gold. It's looking like a one-sided game, Chantel. How can Team Singapore come back from this? Blazing Duet once more. And man, it's now a 4-on-1 situation in the mid T-Mac. Just manning up to 4.
Actually, for Team Vietnam, the perfect word to describe the team is more on the sustain. Imagine you have the Hyper Carry Claude and you have the sustain coming from this Esmeralda and Uranus. What a big wow in terms of team fight. You have those 2 players that were mentioned earlier that could get all the damage come from Team Singapore, and you have the Claude instantly with the Blazing Duet giving all the damage against Team Singapore. For this one, we have Team Vietnam on the goal lead. So for Team Singapore, all they have to do is, as much as possible, breathe or loosen up in terms of objectives. So far, this is this is a little map or this map control. In terms of Team Singapore, it's little. So they have to, as much as possible, at least get a hero or a player here come from Team Vietnam for them to be able to get different objectives against Team Vietnam.
But I think, Chantel, it's going to be hard because if you're gonna think about it, the skills here for Team Singapore are single target skills, right? So you have the TAMs, the only AoEs, the Fatal Links, probably a little bit of the traps, probably a little bit of a spinning light wheel, but who will target? There go Fatal Links into 2, but look at Hyde, they're free hitting them from the back, Blazing Duet to the monster kill from the Claude Broly, just like an anime, finishing up all his enemies. Phantom stepping up, Phantom stepping out, and I think it's over now. Chantel, 14-2. 5 heroes are here. Team Vietnam, this is it.
I think this is gonna be a GG push for game number 1. Congratulations, Team Vietnam.